Next guest says we often approach the new year all wrong. He has a new sort of goal to set, a new goal set rather, to consider for 2016, and it starts by working from the inside out. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend is joining me. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
You have said it before, and I'm with you on this. You're not a resolution guy.
No, don't like them.
I don't either.
I've never lived one. Why start now?
Why start now?
And we don't live them because what we do is we tend to focus on tangible things. Like I would focus on my abs.
Well, they don't need any work.
Exactly. And everyone else focuses on my abs. But I focus on my abs, or I focus on my pocketbook, or my money, or I focus on my whatever, my job, all these tangible things. But the tangible things we found in research don't actually make us happier. They would if we had no other tangible things. Like having a six-pack isn't the key to happiness. There's something on the inside that is. And it actually would drive better health. It would drive better abilities to make money. It would drive better education. So what I'm saying is instead of focusing on all the tangible, the things that we can touch and make noise with, and things we can do, let's start focusing on the things we never pay attention to, but really create all the value.
And here's the fascinating thing, not to take away from what you're saying, but in the end, what you're kind of saying is the results could be the same if we work from the inside out.
Because it's the source of motivation. It's the source of feeling good about what you've done.
Right.
There's a great quote that says, it's not the bars that hold the tiger in, it's the space between the bars that hold the tiger in. If you have two bars and the bars are 4 feet apart, I'd leave the zoo.
Aha.
Having bars at the zoo, that's not what keeps the tiger in. The spacing of the bars does. But we never pay attention to the spacing. We pay attention to the bars. What I'm saying this year for New Year's, don't focus on the tangible bars. Don't focus on the body. Focus on what's happening in the space between you and your body, which is going to be more like your thinking. It's going to be more like your emotions, your feelings. It's going to be like your relationships. It's going to be like your habits. If we focus on these intangible things, the space, invariably, the other things, the stronger, harder things seem to come.
That is brilliant.
It's not only brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's kind of lucky.
Can we break down those intangibles you just talked about? So thoughts,
we'll go one through
top of your list. Thoughts.
So think about it. What thoughts are impacting you?
Think about our thoughts.
Think about it. That's the only way you can do it. What thoughts get in your mind? What thoughts do you have? Do you have a lot of positive thoughts? Do you have a lot of negative thoughts? Do you have thoughts that just keep you back? Do you have thoughts that can make you keep saying, I'm fat, or I'm not a good mother, or I'm a horrible wife? And if you have these thoughts and the thoughts keep coming over and over again, or why can't I be like so-and-so? Wouldn't it make sense that we start working on the thoughts? So this year, let's set a resolution to work on thoughts. Listen to this question. What thoughts, if elevated, would create the most positive impact this year? What thoughts do I carry every day with me, but if I would elevate them, would actually change my year and make my year better? And so I want people to go in internally and start evaluating, how am I thinking for this new year? And what thoughts do I need to have instead of what thoughts am I having? And just write them down. And simple things. Are my thoughts positive or are they negative? Do I have reoccurring thoughts that I tend to feel negative about myself afterward? What are my thoughts of the people around me? And then just take some notes and identify a few thoughts to work on this year.
And we know we're not supposed to be thinking negatively, but sometimes that negative voice, that negative soundtrack is harder to turn off. So I love what you're saying. Play up the positive. Whatever thoughts in your head and your brain are positive, lift them up.
And what are the ones you want to have for this new year? This new year is going to demand something new of you. So if you can go start thinking a new thought, creating a new thought, by the way, just write it down, put it up on your wall somewhere, and focus on it. Think about it regularly. Set your alarm on your watch to go off and think of that thought. If you do that regularly, that thought itself is going to elevate you to a completely different life.
How can we elevate our feelings, our emotions?
Interesting idea is that feelings and emotions tend to follow thoughts. So if you want to elevate your feeling, you got to elevate your thought. But another thing you could ask this year is, what feelings do I tend to have a lot? Do I tend to feel lethargic? Do I tend to feel down? Do I tend to feel judgmental? Do I tend to feel sad a lot? What feelings am I feeling? Remember, we've taught forever on the show that the feelings are telling us something. So pay attention. Just right now, at the beginning of the new year, pay attention to what feelings do you have and what feelings do you want to have this year. And start identifying, I want to feel more joy. I want to feel more patience this year. I want to feel more focus. And then identify what the feeling is like. You could even go identify where you felt that. Where have you had joy in the last year? And go write down some feelings of joy. Holding my baby, playing that thing, working with that team that I worked with. Joy, 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 and then get ideas about the feelings. Now, by the way, get your mind on it, and your feelings will start to follow. But more importantly, if we can get you feeling better on one thing, I'm going to bet you'll exercise more.
Yeah,
I'm going to
true.
bet you'll
It's
be
so true.
a better mom. I'm going to bet you'll be a better everything.
It just trickles down
Yeah.
to every aspect of your life. I love the idea of setting out this year, or using this year to elevate your relationships. That does feel kind of like a big, ambiguous,
Yeah.
general goal. Help us make it doable.
Well, again, what we try to do is improve our marriage. And we've learned we need very specific goals, so we go take on a very tangible thing, and we work on our marriage, and we have a date night.
We go on a date night every week, or we have that talk every week.
What I might do is, instead of just jumping into the obvious thing you know that's right there, I might ask yourself, what feeling or what relationship is calling me this year? What relationship needs me? Because it might not be one that you would necessarily pay attention to, but you might actually be prompted to go to one that will need you. And you don't want regrets. So it might not be the marriage, because that's your most important relationship maybe. It might be your mom, who might have a health scare in the middle of the year. So I would just sit down quietly and ask, what relationships are calling me? What relationships do I know I need to pick up this year?
I love that.
What relationships do I know I might need to tone down? And maybe walk away from some of them. What relationships aren't healthy for me? What relationships tend to create more negative feelings? What are my thoughts about my relationships? And then start tying these intangibles together. Everyone would say, yeah, but you need a very specific thing. You really don't. If you're very clear that you're open to having relationships call you and let you know what they need, and you're sensing that, I'm going to bet you'll eventually divine or find this incredible relationship to work on, and you probably won't know it till you need it. And then you'll be glad that you focused on that for the year.
I totally buy into that. I love that. Really, really quickly, habits. How can we change and improve and elevate our habits for 2016?
Again, how many times could we tell you 21 days or whatever makes a habit, but what really makes a habit are thoughts that are aligned, feelings that we're going for, and relationships, and the habits are simply the way we do it. Habits can become anything that you're motivated in your thoughts, your feelings, and your relationships to do. You'll do more consistently. You might have a habit of calling your best friend because it's just easy, but that's just easy. I want you to start thinking about, what are the habits that I really want to have? And more importantly, because the habits lead us to what we're becoming. What do you want to become? Do you want to become a more spiritual being? Do you want to become a more friendly being? Do you want to become a more patient being, a more healthy being? Then don't just focus on one habit to get healthy. Just focus on healthy habits. And see if you can't just know that you're paying the piper in a variety of ways to just reach a better habit. Does that make sense?
Yes,
and all of these tend to be more intangible, which is why we don't focus on them. It's the space. But the space will make all the difference in the end. Always does.
Buying in wholeheartedly for 2016.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
New year means a new date night. We are so excited. This is the first announcement. February date night coming up.
February date night. I don't know what I'm calling it yet.
Ooh.
But it's going to be hilarious.
It always is.
No, but what it's going to be really is, I'm learning so much about my own life and about relationships and about grandparents and all of these types of relationships. This is going to be huge. It's on Valentine's night.
Okay.
So just go to datenightswithmatt.com, and there's just if you enter in Studio 5 in the code, we'll give you a discount. I don't know what it is yet because they don't tell me these
Details
things.
coming.
Yeah, I should actually make the decision, but it really is. It's something you can make a decision now on and go really start changing your relationship.
And we like to tell you early, these do sell out. This is your biggest date night of the entire year.
And this is going to be bigger than ever too. So it'll probably sell out
Get
fast.
those tickets now. Thank you so much.
Brooklyn.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.